This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Can you guys hear everything okay?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
This is how I feel at work.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Uh-oh.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this
Is it a holiday?
This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Hey. Hi, Cass. How's it going? Hello, hello. In case anybody doesn't know, Cass made our wonderful, heart emote. Alright. Yeah, hope you're doing well, Cass. We just watched the Pokemon thing. It was very interesting. Who's this? 429. 428. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
This one, sorry, I'm looking at the mugs. This game is wonderful. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, thanks, Cass. I hope I enjoy it too. I feel like I will. I can relate to this. Being in an office. Who farted? This one says, #1 dad. Ew, coffee machines. I hate it. I hate Mondays, I think it says. Okay. 437. Okay. None of these, all these doors are locked. Okay. Be my Valentine, I think that one says. I just want to take in the full atmosphere of being stuck in an office like this. I've never actually, well, have I? No. Yeah, I've never actually had a cubicle before. Whoa, what is, oh, I hate Mondays. What does that one say? No coworkers around here, it looks like.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ooh. Entered the door on it. What if we go in the one on the right, though? Oh gosh, is this gonna change the game if I go on the right? Does this decide the fate? Does this decide the rest of the playthrough? Which door I go in? Is it like the right door means that you're a rebel and the left door means that you're like a square? Which I am. I'd probably go through the left door. Oh boy. 413. 412. Hey, what's going on in here?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Right next day's agenda. Reflect. That's pretty much how an office job goes, I think. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Everyone is unique, you most of all. That's funny. Okay, let's go. Broom closet. Whoa, that scared me. That scared me.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I hate swinging doors.
Coming to a staircase, okay. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I don't think this game is supposed to be spooky dooky, but gosh, doors swinging open always gets me. Okay. Where's our boss's office? I'm guessing it's this one.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
He was too stunned to speak.
Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh. Whoops, wait no, not 3. Not 3. How do I backspace? Ah. Alright.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh no, this is starting to feel like a spooky game. I don't think it is. Lights? Am I supposed to press this? Push. Whoa. We're in like the back end secret areas. Fun. But yeah, I don't know. Has anyone played this game? Anyone played the original one or this one?
Descending deeper into the building,
I know nothing about this game. I'm very curious.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Ooh. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Not played this game, but I would love to. Whoa, sparks. That's not safe at all.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ooh, or escape. What is escape? Wait, I don't like decisions. Okay, we'll go in here first. Oh no, the door is closed. Aw, what if we wanted to escape? Hello?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Whoa.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Huh?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Wow. So is this, I wonder if this, I imagine this game might be trying to, like, have some kind of commentary. I don't know. Some commentary on society.
Control facility. It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
I don't know.
Stanley had been under someone's control all this time. Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Wow.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Wow.
Here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Wow. Five. What does 5 do? Mind controls idle awaiting input. Huh? Whoa, when I started this game, I wasn't ready for like philosophical questioning.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power,
I thought we were just going to be in an office.
His obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Wow. Huh? Am I dead?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won.
Yay, we won.
Defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Stanley is quite a quiet person.
Mere moments away.
I feel that.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
Huh.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Wow.
That was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Wow.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yay, we're happy.
Yeah, dude. Let's go.
Hey. Yuka, member for 11 months. Hi Yuka, how are you? Thanks so much for continuing your membership in the Yama squad. Learning how this works. Oh, so is this like a multiple endings type of game? Am I supposed to replay the same thing? Yay, thanks Yuka. Hopefully...
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nah, I don't know what's going on. Also, I missed the achievement, but I think...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all. just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
What an interesting game.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No. So I wonder if... So I'm gonna not listen to the narrator this time and see what happens.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Just realized I wasn't even watching live. Oh no, Yuka. Are we live now?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Hi, Yuka.
There's someone you've been neglecting,
Yuka made
Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her? Whoa, this game's trippy.
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
Who is her?
She's been waiting.
Whoa, scary.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her.
Huh?
If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
This is a cool game. I'm so scared. How do I pick up the phone? Oh. What's going on here? My brain can't handle this. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting.
We have a girlfriend?
I just brought it out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha.
Rude.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
Yeah.
Who want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something.
This is
Come
trippy.
Inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Yeah, what's going on here? I'm so confused. Aw, I thought we had a wife.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? Good morning, employee 4. Stay on your controller.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him.
Oh, this took a
Every
dark
button that he
turn.
pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Please press X. What happens if I press Y?
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Huh? Please press Y. I'm not gonna press Y then. I'm gonna press A. I'm gonna press nothing. Oh, I can crouch. Hehehe. Hehehe. Do I have to press Y? I think I have to press Y.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown.
Ooh.
Fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press B to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he
I wanted to watch
imagined that
TV.
one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press X to spend time with the boys. Ooh, fun.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press up to prepare dinner. Puzzle game? I don't know. I don't know what type of game it is now.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room.
I genuinely don't know what's going on in this game anymore.
And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions.
Yellow line
TM.
TM.
A game with a baby, and he called it the Stanley Parable.
Ah. Press left to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
X to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer.
Aw.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
I'm confused. Press up to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Please press A to be at work in the morning. Okay, I'm not gonna do it then. Not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But then I feel like the game's not gonna progress. I'm gonna crouch. I'm gonna crouch for now. By the way, guys, I've been watching some like YouTube live streamers and they're like, oh, let's try to get the stream to 25 likes or something. And we're almost at 10 likes. Can we get the stream to 10 likes? But no pressure. I think I have to press A. I don't think anything's gonna happen.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
With a mirror. Please press X to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Please die.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
I'm so confused. This game. It's like, I don't know what it's like. I thought we had a wife. I wanted to have a wife and kids.
All of his co-workers were gone.
So am I?
What could it mean?
I don't know what's going
Stanley
on.
decided to go to the meeting room.
Am I?
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Am I just doing the game over and over again?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I don't want to accidentally end up doing the same thing again, though. Okay, so we're gonna go through here.
When Stanley came to a set
Go
of
through the right
open
door.
doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
Maybe it
just
is like
to
a puzzle
admire it.
game, I guess. I don't know. Am I supposed to be looking for clues? What if I end up getting the same ending? Alright. There's nothing here.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
What does this say? Fuel. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me without your desire. Ba-da-ba-do-ba-do-ba-do. Coffee nut.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. We're gonna not take the first open door on my left.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Oh, what happens if I jump?
I'm not sure.
I'm scared.
Really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust
I'm scared to
in someone else
jump.
can be difficult.
Should we jump?
But the fact is that the story has been about
I'm
nothing
scared.
but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
So we know there's no her. We know that now.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
So is there supposed to be a different... So if we go in this room again... There's the
That's her,
phone.
Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach
Oh, can I
out to
unplug it?
her. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone?
Yeah, I
But
did.
that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that?
I unplugged
you
it.
actually chose incorrectly?
Yep.
I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner?
Man, this game is like a
You're
mind
Stanley.
F.
You're a real person.
Yay, I'm a real person. I'm a real
I
boy.
can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices.
Yeah.
And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long.
Yeah.
If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
Oh no.
Please observe this helpful instructional
Oh no, not the
video.
instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous.
Oh no.
For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make
Yeah.
life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember
Forget how to
that
read.
unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself
2 plus
speaking
4
with a
equals
person
fish.
who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back crack and sack. I did it.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution,
hey, what's up, Anti-Venom? Hello, hello. How's it going?
Remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Wow.
Ah, welcome back.
Oh, look at all the
You
forklifts.
noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
So I guess, should I just go against everything the narrator says from this point? Also, yeah, what's up, Anti-Venom? Welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Alright. So do we not listen to the narrator?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful,
You're tired? Oh no.
We can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Also, we are falling off the platform. Are we not? How do I fall off the platform? Oh, I should have fell off the platform when I had a chance. Bummer. Oh, maybe I can crawl? No. Yeah, I should have jumped off the platform when I had a chance. No. Okay. Man, I feel like we're like in trouble now. This is like the walk of shame. Back to the classroom.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Nope.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would.
Nope.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first.
No.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
No.
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No. We're going to the right.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Oh no. Reality is breaking. Okay, how many times am I supposed to go through the right? Can I go backwards? No. Okay. Guess we're going this way. What happened to our narrator friend?
Oh
no.
I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone?
We're in
Left here
trouble,
like so
guys.
much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god. Aw. That was spooky. Oh Jesus, what's going on? What's going on? I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. you, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are.
I am pretty
My
clever.
entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny?
Yeah.
You just had to see?
Yeah.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
No.
He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it.
No, the language.
That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a
Hey, what's up,
world
Redfire?
outside of
Hello,
you.
hello.
You're a child.
No, I'm 23. Well, I guess I am.
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a
Hope you're doing
whole
well.
underground facility.
Thanks for tuning in.
You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make
Uh-oh.
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly.
Oh no, is the same thing gonna happen?
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and
so that's like
always
a-
putting
that's
the
like a death.
story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
By the way, guys, I think we're
Came to a set of 2 open
1
doors.
like away from
He
10
entered the
likes on
door
this
his
video.
left.
Feel free to hit the like button if you want.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Let's go.
Stanley decided
Hey,
to go up to
thanks
his
for the 10
boss's
likes,
office,
guys. Hype.
hoping he might find an answer there.
Much hype. Much hype.
Coming to a staircase,
Oh, there's no downstairs
Stanley
now.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Thanks for the 10 likes, guys. I appreciate it. Man, this game is whack. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Okay.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Hey, lady.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who
Oh gosh,
orchestrated
Imperatrix.
this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind
Welcome
this
to the stream.
door lay
Hi.
all
Thanks
the
for
answers
tuning
to his
in.
questions.
Hope you're doing well.
And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115.
Night
Was
Shark
this the
115.
code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115. Did I do it?
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
How do I speak? Night Shark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Yeah, I can't
You didn't
speak.
mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver.
You're the 10th
Otherwise
like,
we
thanks
can't
for
get on with
liking.
the story.
I appreciate
This
it.
is a crucial step.
I can't speak.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You
No,
could
I
have
couldn't
done
have.
whatever the hell you wanted over there.
Well,
Why
language.
did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of
Whoa.
2 doors, he entered the door on his left.
Chirpy. Where are we doing now?
Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
The end?
I need you to walk through the door.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. That's not the end.
Is everything all right?
Is it really?
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand?
You have to go? Alright, thanks for tuning in, Redfire. I appreciate it.
Both correct. You cannot be wrong here.
Hope you have a good night.
Together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please.
Oh no. Did I lose?
Do something? Anything? This is more important than you can ever know.
I think there's like 30 different endings. Did I get the bad ending? This feels like the bad ending.
Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait.
Huh.
Time to decide.
Weird.
Time to make sure your
Sorry,
choice is
Leroy.
correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
Huh.
Take as much time as
That's
you
crazy. 30 endings. Oh wow. Oh, the end is never. No, I don't know. Wow. Okay, should we try to get different endings then? I would like to try to get different endings. But how do you get different endings? I don't even know what else other endings we could get.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
So
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
man. Well, I mean, I should probably look for these other endings because
When
this game was,
Stanley
what,
came to a set of two
$25?
open doors,
Imagine
he
I
entered the
paid
door on his
$25
left.
to play for, like, 30 minutes. Okay, so... And it's also a bit difficult because it's like, I don't know where we're starting from.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I'm guessing
Perhaps
we're starting
he
from
wanted
the
to stop
very
by
beginning
the
now.
employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
Huh.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yeah, let's try going through this door on the left then.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, let's see what this goes. Whee! Man, this is like my worst nightmare. I hate making decisions. I'm so
But
indecisive.
Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Left. I'm gonna go right. Oh, there's no right. Okay, I guess we're going...
No, it's to the right, my mistake.
Okay.
No,
Oh.
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Yeah.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This
Okay.
story is absolutely, definitely this way.
This way. But what happens if we go left? Oh. What happens if we go right? Oh. Alright, all these doors are locked. What's going on here? These headlights are very ominous. Okay. Oh, we're back here.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
Spoiler.
Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now.
Yeah,
The
it's
whole
all
story is
rubbish.
completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Does that count as an ending?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
I'm
decided
like,
to go
I'm
to the
like,
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm like scared now because I don't know like how much the game remembers every time I reset.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change?
Oh.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure.
Ooh.
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Wow, look at all the... I don't even know. Oh, this is so overwhelming for me. As someone who is very indecisive, having 2, 4, 5 doors to go through, I can't even. I guess we'll go through this one. Let's find a story.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I
Me
can
too.
promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh. OMG, this is what you were afraid of. Seriously. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
now there's no doors.
It's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. I want to know like what the statistics are. I want to see like who got what ending. Okay. Did we miss something? Doop doop doo.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay. The narrator kind of sounds like Wheatley from
Now
Porto
this-
2.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all.
Me neither.
Is this the story? I don't think so.
It could be a story.
I can't quite recall.
Anything can be a story with your imagination.
In an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations!
We
I know
win!
you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
Yay!
Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
Me too.
I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay.
All right.
The Stanley
I've got a
the
solution.
Stanley Parable
This
adventure
time, to
line.
make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is
Line
that?
TM. What happens if I don't follow the line? Should I follow the line, guys? What do we think? Should I follow the line or not follow the line? How ironic that in a game about making decisions, I'm asking my chat to make decisions for me. Do we follow the line or no follow the line? I don't know. I guess we shall... Let's not follow the line. I don't know. Does that feel right? I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna not follow the line. What happens?
No, I'm down. We're living it up to the line from now on.
Oh, nothing happens. Do.
You see? The line knows where the story is.
The line
it's
TM.
over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Okay.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination?
I don't know, you're hurting my
still
brain
a
with these like
story?
philosophical
So
questions.
by
Oh my god.
moving forward,
I wasn't
are we
prepared for
implying
this.
A journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence
God.
is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
No, the music makes it even creepier. I guess we follow the line. Question marks. These are some pretty catchy tunes, not gonna lie.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
This music reminds me of Psychonauts.
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Okay.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Yeah, where's this line taking us, though?
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? But after we trusted you,
Line
after
TM.
everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh no. Are we gonna be stuck in an endless loop? That's like my nightmare for life.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us?
Yeah.
We're intelligent people, right?
Yep.
Why can't we make up our own story?
Yeah.
Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay. I like how we're working with the narrator now.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
I'm
Whatever
on.
it might be, Stanley. I'm ready for it.
Okay. I want an e-girl waifu and maybe like one puppy and yeah. There, that's my story.
Oh no, not you again. Stanley,
You,
I'd also
TM.
like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Okay, don't acknowledge the line. Got it.
Ah, a choice.
Ooh.
We get to make a decision.
Oh,
From
boy.
here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic.
Another
Come,
victory for
Stanley,
luck.
our destiny.
Can I go through the left door? No. The confusion ending.
What's this? The confusion ending.
Huh.
You're not telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight
Wait, I wanna
times?
read this though.
That's really how all
Deviate
this
from
goes?
maintenance room, end up in monitor
It's
room
all
now.
determined?
The 2 doors.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing.
Nonsense
Wall.
philosophy and music.
Well, you consulted me. Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
Find the confusing ending
No,
schedule.
can't be.
Narrator
I-
restarts the
I
game.
don't
5th
want it to
restart.
be.
Narrator
I
forgets
don't
about
want the
previous
game to keep
restarts.
restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on.
Stanley
I don't
attempts
want
to
to be
play the story
trapped
but
like
is
this.
prevented.
I
Unable
won't
to
restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't
find the line
do
again
it.
and begin following that. Why not?
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know?
After a long time,
Will
Stanley
someone
dies?
come
Oh
for us?
no.
Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know,
Oh
I
boy.
suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
Not the
I'm
waiting
not quite
story.
Sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh. What the heck was that? Oh boy. Oh boy. What a weird
All of
game.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered
Oh no,
the
what do I do
door on
now?
his left.
I don't know what to do now.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness.
Yay.
Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again.
Aw.
Then it came back,
Yay.
and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there.
Aw.
Just a kind of, tingle.
Aw. We were
But
happy
eager
for a
to
little
get
bit.
Back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Should I do this then?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So what happens if we fall off this?
Look, Stanley, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Wow. We're so powerful. Man, how are you supposed to find all, I guess, I don't know.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
How do you find all these endings? I feel like there's so many different options.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the
Okay, so we can go through here.
Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never.
The new
known
dialogue
before.
is what gets
Was
me.
it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room?
Could a man love?
I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly, love.
Okay.
But eager to get back to
man,
business,
I missed it.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, so we tried jumping off there.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
So this just takes
Yet
it back.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So what happens if we go
Coming to a
downstairs?
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
True.
All because he believed everyone had vanished?
True.
His boss would think he was crazy.
True.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh, true.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever
True.
he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
True.
Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
I'm in a
He
video
just
game.
hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Yeah.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa, we're flying.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical
I don't know.
starfield,
Wait.
and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
Wow.
How was he remaining so lucid?
Yeah.
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
True.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd,
I don't like this, it hurts my brain.
In their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
Jeez, how long does this dialogue go on? I'm like scared to leave the room because I don't want I don't want to cut the dialogue off.
Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Oh no, we're gonna start back in the office.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife.
We don't have a wife.
And my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Things I have never said to myself.
I am okay.
Just joking. Oh no, we're still here. Sweet.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, this is the spooky ending.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Huh?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
Oh no.
I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Wow. That was dark. That was dark. I didn't like that ending. That was the spooky ending.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Are we still going on this storyline? I never know. I never know. Awaiting input. Oh, new content. New content.
Oh,
let's go.
New content?
Yay.
What does that mean? New content?
I don't know, but we're gonna find out. What's the new content, guys? Oh boy. Wow, we're like on a Disneyland ride.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
You're welcome.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Oh, I was right, 2013.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable.
Yeah, dude.
Hey.
Let's go.
Aw. Can I pause this? Kaz, thank you so much for joining the Yama squad. Thank you. Super duper appreciate it. Thanks, Cass. Also, I think it's hilarious how this game is like advertising itself in the game. Yay! Thank you, Cass. By the way, Cass made that emote, guys. Cass made the hearts. I wish there was a way for the hearts to show up on the stream, but unfortunately. But if you guys want to use my emotes in chat, feel free to become a Yama Squad member. And plus you get your name on the chat over there. It shows your name at the top, which is kind of fun.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Wow, new content.
Well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Me too. But yeah, thank you, Cass.
So far,
Appreciate
it's
that.
an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Me too. Also, if you become a Yama Squad
Is it
member,
broken? What's going
you
on
get some
here?
exclusive content, which is fun.
Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Yay.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
The jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's
Jumps
the
remaining.
Jump circle.
Press it. Oh, we can jump. Oh, we got 36 jumps. We 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! That was fun. Jump circle was pretty fun.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Yeah.
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Yes, I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Me too. Although I feel like I'm like kind of cheating here because I feel like I haven't gotten the full experience of the original one. I feel like I'm not even worthy of getting this new content because I haven't played the original content. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? It's my fault, Stanley.
Sounds like some
I built up too much
comments.
anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh. There's an achievement to not play the game for 5 years. Wow. Well, now I kind of want to do that. I'm almost scared to look at the achievements because I feel like, are we gonna get spoiled? Test achievement description, replace this. Quit the game, you can't jump, no seriously, we disabled it. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. Click on door 435 times. 888. Speedrun, complete the Stanley Parable in under 4 minutes 22 seconds, not including load times. Settings World Champion, set all the sliders in the menu to all the available numbers. Super, go outside, don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years. Oh my god. Alright. Jeepers. Oh, are we still in new content? There's 430. Whoa.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent.
What happens if I don't?
I want to show you something.
Well, now I kind of want to oh man, I'm so scared. Now I feel like I have to explore all the options. This is so stressful. Alright, here we go. Going in the vent. I'm venting. Chase vented. They changed it for the Deluxe. Deluxe then, the OG was 5 years. Oh my god. Did you- wait, the question is though, did you end up doing that, Cass?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special, and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Oh boy. What's it gonna be? Whoa! It's Skyrim.
I call it the Memory Zone.
The Memory
It's
Zone.
where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Wow. Oh, that's cute. According to Steam, the last time I opened the game was January 2014. Wow. So that's what? 8 years? Dang. The Memory Zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how
Zone,
wonderful
sweet
Stanley
zone.
Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap Nintendo Switch port?
Oh,
Remember
cool.
back in October of
That's me.
2013, when
I'm
the
playing
game
on Nintendo
originally
Switch.
launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Don't forget the Stanley Parable. Ah, 2013 when the Stanley Parable was released. Oh, cute. They even have like the Steam thing. Wow. That's crazy. The Steam page is on Nintendo Switch. Technically. Stanley Parable Collector's Edition. Audience Award, the Stanley Parable 2014 Independent Games Festival. British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Good times. Wow. Oh, is that my time? No, wait. Is it? 12? No, wait, no, that's not my time. Stanley Parable. Our first kiss, my first car at the release of the Stanley Parable in 2013. Wow. The original remake. A trip down memory lane. God, remember CDs? Smile because it happened. $1. The Stanley Parable demonstration. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Go outside, don't... Oh, here, don't play for 5 years. Nice. Okay. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Okay. In loving memory, little Stanley. Oh, is that an actual thing? Is that like an actual... What is that? Is that a... Is that a pet of some sort?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3.
I just said Skyrim.
It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Wow. It's down here. Memory zone maintenance. The tasteful, nostalgic, it was good. Okay. This is actually pretty cute. Person of the year. As someone who didn't play the original, this is cute.
Here's another moving passage. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley?
Wow.
The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the Nintendo Switch. Boom, done.
I wonder if it changes depending on what you played on.
Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise. These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh no.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game.
Oh,
to full
pressurized
completion.
gas, I get
The
it.
narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving
Pressurized
to be more
gas, I
irritating
get
than
it.
entertaining.
Steam.
Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
That's funny. Pressurized gas. It's funny that it took me so long to get the joke. Okay.
Okay, let's
Not
see what
recommended.
this one is. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
I like the fourth wall breaks.
People down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
So this is what Steam looks like on the inside.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Wow. Oh, skip button.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll put you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people.
Well, I want to listen to what you have to say.
Silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue.
I feel bad.
Here's something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time, everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. But the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized
Oh no, is this forever?
or at least change some of the...
Is this forever?
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here?
Yeah, how do we get out of here?
Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort. Stanley! Stanley! Stanley, yes. Please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Oh no.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room.
Yeah.
Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls.
I'm sure people have probably just like sat here and actually listened to all this dialogue.
There's
I want to know
just you
who has done
and
that.
a button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you think that
Aw,
that's just
poor narrator.
how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening.
Aw.
I needed there to be a
I feel
vessel
that, though,
through which my
on, like, a
words
personal
were moving.
level.
It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can...
Oh no.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and
Is
about
this
everything
forever?
we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Guys, I think we accidentally killed the narrator. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an...
Oh man. Is this forever?
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Huh. I guess there is a lot of new content in here, huh? Lots of skip button content. Oh boy. Oh jeez. Oh. We get sunlight. Oh man, are we gonna make a new civilization down here? I feel like we should be able to use this ladder to climb out. Okay. Again. I don't like the nighttime, it's scary. It's so dark in here. I'm so scared. The game is actually getting kind of spoopy. Oh no, our button! Oh, look. We're free! Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh yikes. Oh no. The game just turned into Journey. We're playing Journey now. Okay. Huh. That was definitely some new content, if I've ever seen some.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting?
I don't know if it restart. Oh,
no longer recall.
New content. Okay.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Oh my god, it's still going. The new content. There's so much. Okay. Back into the elevator we go.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Wow. The end is never the end again.
Isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Wow, there's so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions.
New muck.
This is what fans have truly been asking for.
427. Wow.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising.
Time to wake up. Oh. I like the 2 puns. They're back 2 doors. More TSP, better TSP. Win-win. Okay.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be.
That's why I taste the sequel.
Some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
New features. Oh boy. Here we go. Let's see what the Stanley Parable 2 is. I didn't even get to finish 1 fully.
Try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear your name in the game. If it says Chase, I will be thoroughly surprised.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
I do.
So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. Please say Chase, I'll be so happy. Aww.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim.
Oh, someone out there.
Of course, in the final game, this button will say your name.
Someone named Jim must be so happy playing this game.
Let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
I am Jim.
Just play along. I promise you'll love it.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Okay. I
want
Jim.
you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Yep.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
I am Jim. Wow.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The
That was
button
me.
described you.
That was
Do it
me.
again. Do it again.
Okay.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
True.
Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Okay. Where are we going next? Oh, out the door. What else new features do we have?
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Red is the new orange. A whole new office. The new updated ray traced more of the same, but in a good way sequel to the new features, new content, new ideas. Wow. Collectibles? Free, new plus easy achievement. I can't believe it's that simple. It just works. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement. No more steps. Okie dokie. I want my free achievement.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident?
Yeah.
Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement.
Yay.
Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist.
Aww.
Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm
Aww.
not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will
That's
happen.
us, guys. We're gamers. Also, it is getting a little bit late.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Yeah. Collectibles. Infinite hole. It won't end. What's this? Please no screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I like Get Well Someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Aww.
Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
There's a picture you stood in front of before that made that weird technology noise, and so many people get caught off guard by it, despite stuff not really making that sound anymore. And there's a picture you stood in front of. Did I stand in front of a picture? Sorry, I never remembered.
Maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Ooh, merch. I want merch. This t-shirt is the best new feature. Okay. Have you ever heard that sound old PC speakers make when you're getting an incoming text? No. I don't know, I feel like I would have to hear it. Aw. Did I miss a sound? I wanna hear the sound. Go back to those posters. I wanted to go in the infinite hole.
Come now, you've already made your choice.
Oh,
it's
I wanted
true
to
that you
get one
chose
someday.
badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
Oh, the other posters that have the game logo on it. Oh, okay, sorry. Other posters that have the game logo on it. Oh gosh. Where was that? Sorry. Okay, it's jump circle. I forget where that was. Did I miss it? Oh no. Either that or I didn't see it. I might have missed it. Aw, crap. Do 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 do. The baby is all grown up. Bankruptcy. Okay, wait, we came by the gym button. I stood in front of it for like 3 seconds and I heard the sound ever so faintly. Aw, man. Shoot, did I miss it? That alleyway? Oh, okay. Okay, now I have to turn on my speakers. Jump circle. It's not doing it. Ah, shoot. Yeah, okay, I heard something. I didn't know that. It almost sounded like a camera shutter. It was like over here, I think. I heard something. I don't even know where it's coming from. Huh. Oh, there. Is it coming from the screens? Have you never heard that sound before? I've probably heard it. I don't know. It sounds. I would have said that's like static. I didn't know that sound had a. I didn't know that sound had like a. I didn't know that sound came from somewhere.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling.
Fun.
You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Oh no, I'm scared to go. Scared to fall. Sounds like when your phone is near a computer. Yeah, I would have like... I would have thought it's like, I don't know, TV static or something. I don't know. I didn't know that that's... I didn't know that sound...
Wonderful. One of my more ingenious concoctions...
like had an origin.
So. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
X to return to the surface.
Great. Now,
nice.
I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Cool. Infinite hole. I used to have my old flip phone next to my PC speakers while watching a movie so I could tell when a text was coming in. It would always make that sound before my phone beeped. I've never heard of that. But that's so smart. Also, why does that happen? So you would put the flip phone next to the speakers. And it would... Oh. Before my... Is it like the... Is it the signal... Is it the signal interfering with the speakers or something? I didn't even know that was a... I've never heard of that in my life.
You know what?
That's crazy.
Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Oh, I wanted more jump circle, damn it. Gosh, I don't know what else I haven't gone to. So we did the button that says gym. Did the achievement. Should we go to the exit? How do we... I think... Jump circle, we did that.
Oh goodness, Stanley, this is very awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to both the exhibits for the bucket and the collectibles. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves both of them.
The
and I really
bucket.
do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the collectibles and the bucket, okay?
Okay.
Alright, I'll get out of your hair now.
I didn't see a bucket, but okay. Oh, there's the bucket. Reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game.
Alright, tell me about it.
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Uh-huh.
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting.
Okay.
You might even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable.
Look at that bucket.
Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be?
Oh,
Yes,
language.
the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Okay. Bucket. Bucket time. Can I like put it on my head? Can I be bucket head?
Can you feel it?
Yep.
The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing
Whee.
despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Oh, thanks.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a
Ooh.
person.
Wow.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more.
Am I attractive?
Await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Thanks, narrator. Narrator thinks I'm attractive. That's nice. Can I take the bucket? Free bucket, let's go.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Okay. I think we did everything, right? Now do I go to the exit? Do do do. Do do do. Oh, wait, oh, collectibles. Wait, did I do collectibles? Let me see. Oh no, I didn't. Go check out collectibles. Whoa, trippy.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game.
It sure
in
is.
Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And
Ooh.
what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Nice. Collect them all. Can you find them? Can you find... Oh.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
True. Okay, sorry narrator. Hopefully we can wrap this up soon, because I gotta go to bed soon. Please no screenshots.
So Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
Yep, I love it.
I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
I still need the bucket. I'm just carrying a bucket.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is.
And it's like taking up my screen real estate.
The Stanley Parable 2.
Oh boy. Wow. Look at that.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's
Yeah,
sort of...
for sure.
Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
Okay.
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Okay. Wow.
Who am I kidding, Stanley?
Look at the
isn't
little
a
collectible.
coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, this is the Stanley Parable 2.
We do like a nice title screen, I will say.
Whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay. Let's see this title screen. It better be good. Wow. Whoa. I do like the font. I do actually like this font. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay. Begin the game. It looks like the PT Sans font I used for my business documents.
This is the story of a man named
I guess that's why I like it.
Stanley worked for a company in a
Oh
big
boy,
building
the
where
balloons.
He was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Wow.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Oh.
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him
Freaking
instructions,
balloons.
to call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked,
So it's gonna be the same exact game, but with the new features.
But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No
Shoot,
matter
now
how
I
hard
feel like
Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I'm gonna have to look for those little collectibles. Oh, there's the bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Now we have a bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Gonna go to the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was.
I can't imagine how
insightful
much
the bucket
time
turned
went
out to
into
be.
narrating all the dialogue for this game.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
So they had to do all of
Still no
this
one was here.
dialogue for the
Stanley
bucket.
needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than
Oh my
ever.
god.
Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh wait, downstairs was death, I think. I don't want to die again.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation,
I just have a
Stanley may
bucket.
have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk.
That's
Nor in his
it's
bliss of
insane how
simply
much
being
dialogue
near
is
the
in this
bucket, did he
game.
have any notion that
Oh
the pin
God.
number for the keypad was 2845.
2, 8, 4, 5.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So what happens if I just play the game with the bucket now? God. All hail the bucket. True. I hope they make merch for this game, and I hope they just sell a bucket.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket
So I want to
is here for you,
see
Stanley.
what happens.
Everything will be fine.
Thanks, bucket. What happens if we just finish the game normally with the bucket?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Or escape. We didn't get to go through the escape the first time, but we have a bucket now. Let's take the bucket to freedom. I wonder if there's a way to go back to regular Stanley Parable. Alright, we're gonna take the bucket to freedom.
On an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
Stanley almost dropped the bucket.
Like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring us that everything would be fine.
I love the bucket. This bucket playthrough is the best playthrough.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to
The
do
bucket
things
ending
it didn't
is
wish
the
to
best
do?
ending.
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
I love that added dialogue to the same line.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except
for the bucket. Who said, okay, let's for this new content, let's add a bucket.
Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Nice. Dude, this bucket is pretty cool. It's really holding its own.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to
Alright, bucket.
everything it stood for.
Let's go to freedom.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes! They had done
Hey.
it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door.
Just me and my
The
bucket.
bucket wanted to learn to roller skate.
Aw.
Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
Oh.
True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together.
Aw. A poor little, or like a little like bucket roller skating.
Well,
I want to see
wait.
it.
What was happening?
Oh no!
Why had the door stopped?
I wanted our happy
was Stanley
ending.
and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty.
Aww.
Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
At least he has the bucket.
To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
That's so ominous. Wanting to sneeze in every country on Earth is a cool goal, to be honest. It is. I mean, then at least you're going to every country. That's pretty cool. Oh my goodness. Okay. Aw, we didn't get our happy bucket end. I wanted to end on a happy bucket ending. I mean, hey, we were still trapped in darkness with our bucket. That's still kind of happy. At least we had the bucket. Well, yeah, since it is 11 o'clock, I think we'll call it there. But yeah, that's the Stanley Parable. What is this one called? Ultimate... What is it? Ultra Deluxe. Yeah.